I worked with multiple active cases, like meaning like they were like real cases that are in process right now. And I worked hands-on with multiple different legal documents like police reports, depositions, medical records, etc. I chose this project because, well, originally I had a list of 3 projects I wanted, well, like my top 3 that I was looking at, which was aerospace engineering, something else, and this. But aerospace engineering, after like looking into like the job environment, it just didn't seem to fit me. I'm a very social person, and like sitting in one spot at a computer all day didn't really fit me. So.
Is this in real estate? Was that the other one?
Oh yeah, I think it was real estate. I think I had trouble like finding someone or like actually deciding on a project to do for real estate, so that's why I ended up going this one. I seemed like this would be something I was interested in. I also did consider this as a potential job career because my mom always tells me I'm really good at negotiating, so she's like, give it a shot. So I wanted to dive deeper before I committed to it. What did I accomplish? So throughout this project, I was given different assignments. I started with working with depositions. Depositions are basically like, they're like outside of court testimonies that are given under oath. Basically like legal interrogations, where you sit down with someone, you ask them questions, right? So once those are done, there's like someone like sitting there and writing down like on a piece of paper everything that was said. And usually it's like a really thick stack of papers. I read through like 250-page depositions, and I had to like analyze them, and then I ended up summarizing them, which is really helpful to whoever else is also working on that case, because they don't have to read through the whole thing. You kind of just like have like the important parts highlighted, and then you discard the rest. I worked with those. I also analyzed medical records. So for example, if a person was injured, for example in a car accident, I was working with this case, there's a person injured in a car accident, and the medical records from doctors, they showed what was injured, and that helped assess like the compensation fee, which is the settlement. Oh, the special damages charts, it's basically where you show like this is how much like this costs or whatever. And then I learned how to find the settlement cost, which is basically how much money they want. It's like, hey, I had this many loss of wages, this hurts, that hurts, and it's giving me a lot of mental trauma, so this is how much money I want. So I learned how to find the settlement cost. And then wrote demand letters. Demand letters are saying, this is what happened, it explains the situation, and why you want the money, basically. And it's a letter from like the person that got hurt to the insurance company. What did I learn? I learned how to do intakes. Intakes are when a client's calling and you like pick up the phone, basically. It's like if I were to get into a car accident, right, and like, I don't know, something happened to my back or something, and I wanted compensation for that, I would reach out to an attorney, right? And so that's what an intake is. It's that process of going through the call, explaining what happened, all that. How to write a demand letter, which I previously explained. It's basically saying why you want money. How to handle hard clients and non-cooperative people. There are a lot of annoying people. Like, I sat in on a couple of calls that he put on speaker, and those people, they just want money sometimes. Like, they're hurt, and we understand, but like a lot of times they're like pushing for unreasonable prices, and then when you're telling them no, they get offended. So I was really impressed on how like the guy I was interning for, how he could find like the nice middle, and how he explains to them the reasonable cost and why. And I also learned that being a lawyer isn't for the weak. You need to have a tough skin. There are a lot of cases that I've heard about where it's really scary, like really scary. There was this one case about a few girls who got stuck in an attic during a house fire, and they were like completely burned. And you also have to look at these pictures as well. So looking at those pictures, I mean, like, my heart sank. It was so sad. Like, these girls, like, their lives are probably going to be ruined forever. But yeah, anyway, wait. Where'd it go? Yeah, so it isn't for the weak. And so I've also learned that you can't get emotionally attached to cases because, like, a lot of them are really, really traumatizing. So that's his biggest advice. If you're ever going into personal injury lawyer, anything like that, don't get emotionally attached to the cases because they're bad. And then I also learned that I kind of, why are you glitching?
It's the television. It just, yeah, it does that sometimes.
Okay, I also learned that I kind of did like this field and that I may consider it as a potential career. And basically everything I did for the first time, so the whole journey was a learning experience. How many hours did I put in? So I put 10 hours into working with depositions. An average paralegal or lawyer, it usually takes them 8 hours to read through a 250-page deposition and summarize that, and it took me 10. And when the guy checked my work, he said I was like spot on, and he was really impressed with me or whatever. So I was really glad to hear that. But I spent a ton of research. I spent 6 to 7 hours in total research on how to do depositions and all this other stuff. So I did my research before. I spent 4 to 5 hours working with medical records, which means analyzing them, finding the costs, also reading police reports, because a lot of times those are bunched together with the medical records, explaining injuries, etc. 2 hours working with demand letters, which is a lot more complicated than I thought. It's basically explaining the situation. This is what happened. This was the accident. This is how much the medical fees were, and this is how much money we want. And then I spent 8 hours in the office. I came into the office 2 times for 4 hours each, and he walked me through like his daily work schedule and what he does, and I got to sit in on a few calls. And I was going to sit in on a deposition that he was going to do, but those things get canceled and rescheduled all the time. And then I spent 6 to 7 hours total research and 1.5 hours in total conducting interviews. So I conducted interviews with 2 different lawyers, one with this guy and then another guy named Steve Burlingham. He's a family lawyer. He was slightly different, but it was still really cool to see both sides, and I'm planning on interning for him over the summer just to see how I
Mr.
like
Burlingham?
it. Yeah, Mr. Burlingham.
His wife used to teach here.
I didn't know.
Elba Burlingham.
Science teacher.
And then how will it benefit me? It exposed me to a whole new world. I did not know the deep side of these things. Like whenever people think attorneys or lawyers, you guys all watch the show Suits, right? That's what they think of. It's not like that at all. It's a much longer process, like way longer, way deeper, a lot more stuff going on. And I got firsthand and practical experience at that. I saw how lawyers handle difficult phone calls and annoying clients, and I think that taught me a bit of people skills, like how they communicate and stuff. It provided me with networking opportunities. The guy that I was interning for, his father-in-law is the owner of Penny & Associates, which is a huge, huge branch or whatever, and they're like, I think they're in 50 states. I think they're in all 50 states. It gave me a better understanding of the legal system, why laws are the way they are, and some laws, they favor one side more than the other, and it's a little bit frustrating, but I got better insight into that. And also, it will look good on my resume, which I'm sure it will. And the end.